Hi, it's Dr. Jenny from Spinal Corrective Center in Amherst, New Hampshire, and I'm here with our patient Kelly to really, I want to share your story with the world because we've done one segment talking about your vision, but really Kelly's a great example about how chiropractic can not only help someone with chronic illness day to day, but how chiropractic can help everyone, even beyond people with like back pain or neck pain. So just to jump in with the craziness of Kelly's story, I'm just going to let you kind of share the overall just story of what happened before I met you.
The before meeting you was filled with countless doctors and just trying to find a diagnosis for what happened in January of 2012 when my arms paralyzed and gradually my entire body started to become paralyzed. I was in May of 2012 diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease, and from there I was put on IV antibiotics, and the IV antibiotics went just so far with trying to get back to health. And unfortunately, I had to come off the IV antibiotics when I developed the flu bug and my white blood count went very low. And then coming off the IV antibiotics, I ended up paralyzed from the neck down.
And you're a mother of two young children at this point.
Yes. At this point, I think I was 36 years old and my kids were in 4th and 5th grade.
Wow.
So it was pretty crazy. And I was sent to a inpatient rehabilitation center for 3 months.
Okay.
They were wonderful with collaborating with my Lyme doctor. I was put on oral antibiotics. I was given 24-hour nursing care, and I was also given the most amazing care by my physical therapist, occupational therapist, and speech and language pathologist.
And if Kelly looks familiar to you, it was around that time that there was a whole segment on the Katie Couric show about you. You went on the show and talked about it.
Yes.
So that was after some of the paralysis had gone away, right?
Yes. They worked with me for 3 months, and by a miracle and a lot of hard work for myself and everyone, I got moving again, and they ended up, Kindred Healthcare did a video on my journey, and I was so thankful, and that's when Katie Couric found the video, and I was on the Katie Couric show. Unfortunately, after the Katie Couric show, I started developing seizure disorder, and with the seizure disorder is when I'd have a seizure, petite, grand mal, and I'd find that my arm would be paralyzed for a couple weeks, and then I'd slowly regain that back. I'd have another seizure, and something, maybe my hand would go, or my legs would have trouble walking. So although I was so thankful to be moving, introducing these seizures became very difficult. And it was right around that time where I just, multiple seizures, light sensitivity, sound sensitivity, just so much structural weakness in my muscles and my bones. And that is right around the time when God put you in my life, and it's just been, you were my earthly guardian angel, is what I tell everybody. Chiropractic care.
Well, and it was pretty amazing because you had shared some of this story, but not the whole story.
No.
Not a whole lot about your symptoms. And so when we really looked at your spine and nervous system, I mean, right away we knew there was so much that could be done to help. And then the more we actually started to work on you and you shared more and more, I mean, it was just amazing how, I'm not joking, Kelly would be carried into the office frequently and laid on the table and then adjusted and able to just walk out. I mean, it was a regular occurrence to the point where most of the practice members have gotten to know you because you've had to be here so often, and everyone's been rooting for you, and I mean, you're so sweet, so you're always talking to people and sharing your story and encouraging others.
I tell people that when I walk into this office, and it has continued every day since then, I feel like there's the energy and the care and the compassion of the way you'd walk into Disney World. And it truly is. It's just this uplifting, energized experience, and just so compassionate, and it's also fun because you make it fun to be healing and healthy and let the sunshine in to your nervous system, and I just love everything about that.
So let's kind of go back to like maybe when you were a year under care, and we're talking that first year there was still paralysis, your thumbs couldn't move. So we saw amazing strides with your care, but even as far as a year into care, talk to us about oftentimes how you would walk into the office and then how you would walk out. Like, what would be happening?
I think that the hardest thing is that I felt like someone had taken the wires in my brain and my spine and had fun maybe overnight just kind of switching up all the wires and scrambling them up, and I'd wake up in the morning to I think the hardest thing was my neck always felt like it was going this way and my hips felt like it was going this way, so I always just felt twisted along with everything in my brain that just did not feel correct and connected. And that's when I'd have to be, carried in, or I'd just come in with my color would be off. The extreme fatigue. I think the brain fatigue was almost even scarier than my body fatigue. I mean, it was to the point where, I remember my mom said I was having a conversation with her and I could not remember my brother's name. I kept saying to her, your son, we're going to see your son this weekend. It was that much fatigue, and the more the adjustments happened, the more I just felt that those connections, you were that putting the electrical signals back into my brain.
That's accurate.
Yeah, almost like my brain had been kidnapped and chained, and you were like releasing the chains and saying, it's okay, I got you, I'm putting your brain back together. And that first year, though, I feel like was just massive catch-up. Like you were just doing this amazing job of just every time, it just consistent adjustments, and you just, running the race with me and playing catch-up with trying to manage my symptoms, to then when we finally got them managed, and then it was just more that, okay, what shifts can we see from here?
And there were days that you were so discombobulated, you would try to tell me what was happening, and I would just look at you and say, just lie down, I know what to do.
Absolutely.
Because once I adjusted you, it was like all of a sudden your tongue would work, you could look at me straight, you could hold your frame.
Absolutely.
So what's cool is now, you can go quite a bit of time without an adjustment, and your body is healing itself, it's functioning more normal.
Absolutely. And I don't need sunglasses, and I don't need headphones, and my color is better in my body. My energy has improved. My brain energy has improved, and I'm just feeling just gradually just put back together. Humpty Dumpty, you're putting me back together.
Well, and because of the seizure disorder, you haven't been able to drive. So that means her family has always brought her here. And it's not a very short drive. You drive quite a bit. So your whole family,
they've committed to chiropractic care.
We adjust everybody.
Everybody. I
her
think
parents, her siblings, her kids, her husband,
And that's what's been so incredible to see is that, first of all, that the look I see in my husband's eyes and my dad's eyes. I have the two most amazing men that have cared for me, along with my whole family, but these two men, they just love me with everything, and they were the ones also that had to carry me for years. And I think for them, they get the most emotional because there is a place that they can bring me, and they can carry me in, they can walk me in, and they know I'm just going to have complete, total care. Emotional and physical. It gives me everything. And it gives them emotional and physical as well, to know that there's just such support, and there's just healing that can happen.
So this has been quite the journey, and if you're someone who has really suffered from Lyme disease, just know that chiropractic can be an option to help you function day to day. So just to close, is there anything you want to add?
Well, I think, like you said, I think it's amazing now that my entire family has come on board with chiropractic care and how important it is and how much better they feel with it. But I think the thing that makes me smile the most is when I come in the office and I'm seeing these little babies and little toddlers that are being adjusted, and it just makes me smile to think that, oh my goodness, they're having the best start to their health journey. And it just gets me so excited for them, because I think about, as an adult with a chronic illness, I didn't have it till I was an adult with a chronic illness, and how much it's helped me. So to see these kids getting it from the start, I think, wow, you're just getting the best start to your health and healing journey. So that's what I would say.
Thank you. Be well, everybody.